There we go. All right. Oh, we're in the wrong position here.
Yeah. What focus there?
Huh?
We're focused?
I think we're
look
focused,
okay,
but we're not in the right sitting positions here. All right, so what is up, everyone?
Out of practice.
Welcome to Smark, guys. The first Smark guys in 3 weeks. We were on a 2-week hiatus there while I was busy out-of-state house hunting. But we are back to talk about WrestleMania 30, to talk about everything that happened after WrestleMania 30, and a little bit about TNA, which pretty much is an atrocity right now, but we will mention that as well. So welcome. Today is Saturday, April 19th, 2014, and we are in the aftermath of WrestleMania 30. Many, many things taking place in the world of pro wrestling that we're going to address on today's show. And, oh, by the way, I'm DSP, and with me, as always, is John Rambo. I screwed that up.
So people don't know that who we are? They just, what is this?
So people,
Smart guys.
They go on the internet, they open up their browser, they just randomly type in youtube.com.
Type in just letters.
/ the King of Hate Vlogs. It comes up. Keyboard. What is this? I can't believe. And they press play, and they try to learn.
My name is Bill, joined here by Jimmy.
That's right.
And
I'm Jimmy John, and this is Subway. All right, so WrestleMania 30.
With this thing.
WrestleMania 30, I think, is where we got to start, because that's kind of where we left off last time when we had done Smart Guys. It was the preview of WrestleMania 30. We talked about the card, and what we should do here is kind of go through. By the way, I have to say, we pretty much predicted almost every single match on this card.
Except for one,
which is the one that I don't think anyone saw coming. So let's go through. I actually have to go. They really list these in opposite order.
Do you want to just? I pretty much remember it.
Okay, so the show started out with Daniel Bryan and Triple H.
Well, it started with Hogan and Rock.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Austin.
Hogan, Rock, and Austin in the ring. It
was a cool moment.
The only time ever was the first time ever that they'd all been together on TV.
Well, they were in a 6-man or something at one point.
Oh, really?
100 years ago, but just the three of them alone, yeah. But it was kind of cool because Hogan comes out, he botches a bunch of his lines.
Right. We're in the Silver Dome.
And you're like, the people that have been watching TNA for the last 6 months, this is what we saw.
We're used to that.
Now you get to see it, and then Austin's music hit, you're like, oh my god, what is this going to be? And they all kind of put each other over. They put over John Cena, of course, because they always have to do that. But it was cool though. It was a nice moment. The Rock, kind of like he's like, you guys are the two biggest,
right?
Which I thought was kind of cool to see him do that, because he's always the kind of guy that. I'm the greatest and all that, right?
By the way, I took the paycheck for the past 3 years, but you guys are the biggest.
Yeah, because you guys are the biggest, so kind of showing the humble side of The Rock, which was nice. And it was a nice moment. I would have thrown Brett in there too, but, what are you going to do?
I don't know, yeah.
But then you got to have Sean, then you got to have this guy.
Right, then you have to have everyone come out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Nash will get pissed. Woo!
Nash will be involved in there too.
All right, so
shouldn't be.
First match was Daniel Bryan against Triple H. Winner goes to the main event. And, I liked the match. I think it would have been better, as you had said, if they made Triple H tap out. But they didn't do that.
I thought it was the best match of the show, honestly. I thought Triple H gave a lot. I think he sold a lot to him. Because I think that was one of the things we were concerned about. Will he sell to him? Or will he give of himself? And he did.
Right.
I thought it was a really good match. Really enjoyed it. Bryan wins. Of course, after the match, Triple H is perfectly fine. He gets up.
Of course.
He's able to deliver a beating.
Yes.
And then he actually is able to pose at the entrance ramp.
Yes.
And, I could see two sides to that. I think, people are like, well, built to the match later on. But I don't think he really needed to do it. They were already selling the fact that he was injured before.
Right, he already had the whole shoulder was already taped up anyway.
He was attacking the shoulder during the match. I don't know. I just felt like it was kind of like Triple H being like, he was perfectly fine.
Triple H,
even when he came out again later on, no, nothing. I would have some kind of bandage, have some kind of limp.
He's fine. Some
kind of sign that you were in a war with this guy, which basically what it was. But he's too cool for that, So I don't know. But he did give a lot to him during the match, and it was a really good match.
Right. I think next was the Shield versus Kane and the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
That was a quick one. I was actually very surprised at how fast that one was.
I don't know why they bothered with it.
The Shield basically just runs right over them, like, boom. I think it was less than 5 minutes, they said, like a 3 minutes or so match. And the Shield wins definitively there, so.
Yeah, the Shield's definitely getting a push now, though.
Right.
But, I don't know. Watching was like, what the hell was that? Because we were wondering why was the match even made in the first place with the Outlaws being in there and Kane.
Right.
Kane looked really bad with what he had on.
Right.
It's like he's wearing like a dress pants.
Yeah, dress
and
pants,
shoes, and then like
no shirt.
It's like
and peach fuzz on his head.
I don't know exactly what his corporate thing is, but he's so busy that he can't put on a proper wrestling suit. He has to no, I can only take my shirt off and then go to the ring because I immediately have to go back to work after this match.
Right.
I have no time for this to put on my red pants. But they just destroyed them. It was a nothing match. I don't know why it was really done. I guess it makes the Shield look like they're really strong.
Right, really strong. But
I'd rather see them in like a good match. But
right.
What are you gonna do?
There was the Andre the Giant 30-man over the top rope battle royal.
A little disappointing at first because, as we talked about, they announced like 3 or 4 mystery guys.
And there were no mystery
I still don't even know who they are.
Jobbers. It was.
I know David Otunga was one of them.
Yeah, it was Otunga. It was Xavier Woods. Yeah, Yoshitatsu.
Yeah, so don't say it like that if you're not really going to do it. You know.
But you know what? I almost get the feeling maybe they had an intention of doing it.
They just didn't know who was going to be.
And they did. Yeah, they wanted to have those spots, and then they just realized they were going to get it together in time.
It was funny watching it though because the commentators didn't really even know what was going on or who was it.
Right.
I remember at one point Michael Cole's like, "Oh, David Otunga's here."
Yeah.
Like he just found out.
David Otunga.
And Lawler's like, "Who's that?" Somebody just went out. Who was that? They had no idea. So most of the guys didn't matter at all.
Right.
And it was really terrible at first because they all start in the ring. They're just knocking people out left and right. Just and they get to the parts that are really contrived, where Ray's doing the 619.
Right.
In a rumble match.
Right.
And everyone's just watching this.
Everyone just lets him do it.
And it just no
one stops him.
Really contrived spots and stuff. But then it got good with a good guy winning.
You don't like the Kofi spot?
That's all Kofi is
7,000
now.
feet. Yeah, he's a spot monkey on Rumble matches.
Yeah, that's all he does.
That's it.
Then they go, "Oh, Kofi, wow, he's great." Okay, well, can you have a match tomorrow on Raw? Maybe he'll beat someone. No. All he can do is these bizarre things. And he's never going to win anyway. So
right.
Oh, wow, he's back in. He got thrown out again. Great. Excellent job. Just don't even go back in Kofi.
Right.
You
liked the ending. You liked the ending of this match.
I was afraid Big Show was going to win at one point. I'm like, oh my God, no. You can't do this. But yeah, Cesaro won. And that's great. He's obviously getting a big push now. What was weird about it, though, earlier in the show, he turned, the pre-show match. We didn't talk about.
Right.
We didn't talk about the commentators acting like it didn't happen. Because
right.
when he won this, they didn't say, you would expect them to say, what a big night for Cesaro. He left the Real Americans, and now he's won this. They acted like it never existed.
Right.
Like that match never happened. Which was kind of odd, but, it was cool that he won. And look at that. That's an awesome picture.
Yeah, it's him holding the insanely large trophy. Over his head. And the way he won was awesome, too. Mm-hmm. That they actually let him body slam the Big Show out of the ring, which is reminiscent of Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant, which is obviously, why they did that, to be the tribute to the Giant.
It's always a weird thing, because it's like people are going nuts now. Like, they're pushing Cesaro, they're pushing Bryan, this is great. But it's like, those are the guys they always should have pushed. They're like, those are the guys that are among the best that there are in the world. So, that should be, anyone in their right mind, those are the guys that you would push, as a standard, right?
Right.
So it's kind of weird that people are almost congratulating them for pushing them. Where it's like that, that's what you should be doing.
Right. There weren't many more matches. You had the streak match, I believe, was next. Which was Brock versus Taker.
Was it next?
I think it was that, and then it was the Divas match, and then it was the title match. Yeah.
Are you missing something?
No, what are we missing?
Okay, I guess not.
Oh, the stupid Cena match. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, Cena.
Cena and the Wyatt. So, it was a good match. The Wyatts Bray Wyatt looked really good in the match. He did a lot of great stuff with Cena, but it doesn't help that fucking Cena wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the
funny?
Point? What was the whole point?
When we did Smark Guys last time, I said Cena would win, and I was pretty positive about that. And then a few people sent me some stuff where these people were actually betting on WrestleMania. By the way, people were betting on WWE
Bet
of all
on
things,
scripted stuff,
which is kind of crazy. I think if you want to do that's fine. But there were all these odds that Bray Wyatt would win, overwhelming odds that Bray Wyatt was going to win this. And it's like, when did Cena ever lose to one of the non-God level guys in a mid-card match too?
Right.
So there was no way he was going to lose. And of course he didn't. But the match was strange because he was well protected. If he lost, because those guys were interfering quite a bit.
Right.
So if he did lose,
it wouldn't have mattered. It would have.
He was well protected, but then he still went over, and he also was able to overcome them all.
Right. He overcomes them all and does not turn. Remember, because the whole plot line was that Bray's trying to expose Cena for who he really is, that he's not the cookie cutter Boy Scout that he claims to be. Several times during the match, he's handing Cena a chair, telling him to hit him with a chair and do what you want to do.
It was basically the Kane thing, embrace the hate. It was the same exact thing.
It's the same plot line. Yep.
And I don't know. I didn't like it. I thought it was goofy, man. Just giving him. He gives him a chair. Like if he hits you with the chair, he's gonna disqualify himself. So why the hell would he do that? And when he had the chair, the referee of all people. John, this isn't who you are.
Right.
Don't do this.
You can hear the referee.
Why would the ref say that?
That's not you, John. Don't do it.
Is there like a side plot that we didn't know? Like I have to watch like the behind the scenes thing.
If you were on the WWE app, you would have seen that the ref was involved backstage.
Like Cena helped his family or something with like money, and then now he loves him or something. But why the hell would the ref say that? Like he would say, "Okay, don't do that. You'll be disqualified."
Right.
That's not who you are.
That's not who you are, John. Don't do it.
So like what? And then Cena makes that face. Remember, like when what was it, Kane pissed him off, and he was doing that crazy,
crazy face,
stupid crazy face, way over the top, and then he eventually wins. So I just thought it was kind of odd. But now in this, they're acting like it never really happened, like the Whites didn't really lose.
Right.
Kinda.
Now they're continuing the same plot line.
Yeah, they're acting like the match never really existed, to kind of protect Bray, but you should have just won. I don't know.
All right, we'll talk about that later. The match coming up at the next pay-per-view. All right, the streak match. I hate to say I told you so. I really do.
When?
I hate to say I told you so.
When did you say so?
Not to you, but to what I was saying for months. I said...
Not to me.
I'm worried about Brock versus Taker.
Yeah.
I'm worried that Taker's going to get hurt. Brock botches all the time.
You heard everyone that he's had a match with.
Yeah, every person.
Either they're bleeding or there's some kind of a thing. And any other wrestler that would do that, they're be punished or taken off the show. But he's fine. He's Brock.
He's rewarded because that's who he is, right? And I said how many times? So this match, there's a lot of controversy around it. A lot of people saying, these the marks. That's not what was supposed to happen. They had to do that because the last minute change.
We've talked about that before, and people said, he wasn't really supposed to lose. Something went wrong. We've talked about it before. It's impossible there will ever be a shoot situation on the show. It's not possible. This is a delayed thing. They'll cut it.
Right.
They'll go to another camera shot where he's not. You don't see him being pinned. They'll whatever. And also, there's been matches where guys couldn't continue, like Austin and Owen, where Austin couldn't continue because he hurt his neck, and Owen basically rolled him on top of him, so Austin would win. Or Lesnar and Angle was kind of similar when Lesnar did the stupid shooting star, and then they kind of still fixed it up, right?
Yep.
And I don't know. That's insanity to think that. It's great because people think like Punk quitting, that's a work. But what actually happened on the show in a match, that was real. Whatever.
I don't know.
Throw my hands up on that.
So, basically, this match unfortunately became the culmination of all of my fears. Brock working way too unsafely, hurting the Undertaker, and the thing that people are saying what happened was, and I think this is when it happened. Relatively early on in the match, Taker and Brock are outside of the ring, and Brock, being the dick that he is, instead of protecting Taker, decides he's going to do a real, double leg takedown on the outside, right? Now, he could have done it slowly, right, to give the Taker time to protect himself, but no, this is Brock Lesnar. So he just goes, zoop, pulls the legs out from Taker. Taker literally smashes the back of his head onto the floor. Taker's all out of sorts. You could tell from then on, the match was like, if you ever the camera went to Taker's faces, he was like this. He's like starry-eyed. He couldn't really tell where he was. Taker's a pro, though, so he's not going to stop the match, and he also ended up pulling off some pretty good spots in the match, including, tombstones and reversals. He took 3 F5s. 3 F5s for someone his age. Pretty damn impressive. So after finally the third F5, which was after a reversal, Brock gets the pin, which led everyone in there to be, they go to the crowd stunned.
It was certainly a wild moment.
After 20-some years of him winning, finally loses the match. And, of course, they don't play any music at first. Everyone thinks that it's...
Which I thought was really awesome, actually, to kind of... To add to that,
right, it added to the shock effect.
Even Brock was, what the hell? And,
right.
Heyman
took Heyman had to literally yell at Brock, you won.
And Heyman's so good because he plays it off like he like a promoter, like he was very confident Brock will win, right? But then when he actually does, maybe he didn't really believe it himself.
Right.
But then he actually saw it with
You did it!
Oh my God, right? This is genius stuff. But, I mean, if I was to tell you the streak was going to end at WrestleMania, right, you would expect a great build. You would expect the right guy to be winning.
Right, an amazing quality
and you expect
match.
a great match.
Right.
And you would expect something great to come of it.
Right.
And I don't think you get any of those things.
None. Right. The build was awful.
It was a generic build. The match wasn't good. Undertaker was hurt, whatever it was, But again, Brock doesn't have great matches. Brock is impressive looking at him, and he's standing there. Wow, this guy's a monster.
And he did. He looked, let me say, for WrestleMania, you could tell he fucking worked out because he was chiseled at that fucking show.
But once he's in the ring, it's very limited what he can do. And all of his matches have been Extreme Rules type stuff, where he's hitting people with stuff. This one wasn't. And guess what? It was the worst match he's had since he came back.
Yep.
And I think it was an overall mistake. I think they wanted to have some kind of big moment where social media, where everyone goes, oh my God, Undertaker lost. I can't believe this. They're talking about this for days and weeks and blah, blah, blah. But, they had a great WrestleMania moment, which was Daniel Bryan eventually winning the title. And
John, what did you just do?
Potentially. And of course, this was like 4 weeks ago.
I know.
And instead, that got overshadowed by Undertaker lost was the story.
Mm-hmm. In fact, a lot of people said that people walked out of WrestleMania.
People were crying.
They were so angry or upset at what happened.
It's upsetting, really. And then a lot of people were like, okay, well, Lesnar's going to be pushed now. He's going for the title. He's blah, blah, blah. No, he doesn't really work there. He's not.
He's gone. He's gone already.
He's gone already. I think it was done because they wanted to get some kind of big reaction, some kind of thing. And I think it's probably going to lead to an eventual storyline or match where Undertaker's going to retire. Where basically, I think they'll have a rematch, and Undertaker will win, and then he'll wrap it up. But
here's the problem with the whole thing is 2 years ago you had this match that was like the culmination of all of the streak matches. It was Undertaker versus Triple H in a steel cage with Shawn Michaels as the ref, and they had all these the whole promotion for that one. It's the end of an era. It's the last of that era who are going to and it was promoted like that was it. Like once that match is done, it's done, and the streak will end. He was 20-0.
It was fine. That was it.
And remember at the
end, that the last Smark
they were on the ramp. They were all kind of celebratory. We did it. We pulled off an amazing match. This is it, the end of the era. We're now move on to the new PG era. That should have been it. But no, they had to keep it going because it's WWE. They don't know when they've overstayed their welcome. They don't know when to end something before it gets stale. And so here you go. They continue it on. Last year's completely superfluous match. They had nothing for Punk, so they give him this match. Didn't give Punk a push at all. It was a waste of fucking time.
Now, if you lost to him, maybe he would still be there.
Right. At least it would have done something, right? It would have given some legitimacy,
maybe
given a push.
Around.
No, now to have the Undertaker lose in this manner.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that maybe this is Taker's wishes. Taker said, "I want to end the streak."
He had to have agreed to it. Yeah. If people get the wrong, go totally off the rails on it, streaks are meant to be broken. The streak should end. Okay. You know what? Maybe it should. Maybe streaks should end. Maybe they're. But not in this way. That's the problem. The way it's done to who it was done to, the build, the follow-up, all of that is the problem. Not the fact that he lost, because people want to twist things.
Right.
Oh, you guys don't want to see Undertaker.
He was going to lose.
Nothing to do with that.
Right. He was going to lose eventually. But the question is, can you take this streak of 21 wins and make that eventual loss into something massively productive? Right. And instead, the WWE chose to throw it completely the fuck away as a meaningless action.
I think
because
you do.
No one got a rub from it, and Brock's already gone.
I think all you do is you set up a rematch. But okay, if I tell you right now, if I was to tell you definitively right now, Undertaker versus Lesnar at WrestleMania 31, who's going to win the match? What kind of is it going to be a good match?
Right.
Probably not. And Undertaker's going to win the rematch. So does it really even build to something that's
right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Another thing that's ridiculous. Last year, Lesnar lost to Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yes, he did.
To Triple H, and a year later he breaks the streak. Okay,
I know.
I'm done.
I know.
I'm done with that.
It would have been one thing
if he just beat everyone.
Right when he came back. Remember, as soon as Lesnar returned, lost to Cena. Then he was losing to Triple H.
So he beat Cena's ass. He beat Triple H.
If he'd
twice.
been unbeatable, it would have been a whole different situation.
And he's locked in for 6 months of Raws and shows now, where he's going to be on every week.
Right, the push means something.
Okay,
you could have a program with Bryan.
That would be awesome, right?
No.
That'd be amazing if he was undefeated for 2 years, beat Undertaker's streak, and now he's going for the title and he's there every week. Amazing.
So
it's not the case.
If anything, don't be upset that the Taker streak has ended, because the Taker streak was always going to end, whether it was that he just retired before it ended or that he loses a match. But the problem here is that you should be upset WWE completely squandered 22 years of WrestleMania appearances on nothing. Nothing.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think there's. I think the bad outweighs the good on that.
We had the Divas Battle Royal for the Divas title.
Which came out after
one of the
this.
worst, not only one of the worst matches probably in WrestleMania history, but people were so deflated from the streak that they were like, "What are we watching? What is this?" Seriously.
It was almost like done to troll people.
Yeah, it was a trolling action. It was like they needed to calm down the people, so put in a match no one cares about, is going to be awful.
I don't know how you follow that though. What could you have followed that with? Like that would have been all right. I mean, maybe the whole. I don't know. You could have the Hall of Fame guys come out, but even then, that would have been bad for them. I don't know. I think they just didn't know what to do. There was no right thing to do, I guess.
Right, I guess. I don't know.
The right thing to do was not have Undertaker lose, I guess, would be the right thing.
Right. And then finally the title match. Really, there's not much to say about it. It was very predictable. It was pretty much exactly what we thought it was going to be.
I didn't like the match itself. Of course, the finish was really great.
Mm-hmm.
The match itself, I mean, that was like a TNA Russo match with like over the top stuff, multiple ref bumps.
Oh yeah, ref bumps, interference by Triple H and Stephanie.
They put Bryan in a actual stretcher with a neck brace. They just takes
and, and he comes off. He comes off the stretcher.
It's overbooked, man. Just let them have a match. I didn't like the Triple H part. He comes out again. He was in a match earlier. We talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
No sign of anything. Put a bandage on him. Put some kind of something. He's got a limp. He's hurt. Perfectly fine. He comes in. He pulls the ref out. Then he inserts a heel ref.
Yep.
The heel ref does everything fair. He comes in. He does a perfectly fair count. That was, even if you watch it, was almost slow. And then Bryan takes that ref out. Well, what the hell is the point of that? So Triple H could do whatever he wants. Why did you just come in and start punching him, hitting him with shit? I don't know. It didn't make any sense, really.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Even I think if you watch it, go back and watch it. I think it was Bradshaw. I was like, "Is this gonna be a fast count?" And the ref just goes, "It's perfectly fine." I was like, "What the hell is that?" And then again, Bryan hits the ref or something, and then he dives onto all of them, and Stephanie's hurt, and they all leave. Okay. The spot with the powerbomb RKO was pretty cool on the table.
Right, yeah.
But it was kind of like a TNA Russo match. You had a bunch of shenanigans. You had a cool spot, and now if it was TNA, they would have had Bryan get screwed or something.
Right.
1-1. So that was better.
Some stupid swerve. One thing that pissed me off was that spot that you're talking about, the powerbomb RKO through the table. There was a monitor that was left there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Batista, he had removed the monitors, but I guess one of them had bounced back. Can you at least, if you're going to have a spot like that, tell the announcers so that they can look around and make sure if you're going to do it that no one gets hurt? Because you see what happened?
Usually they pull those out.
Yeah, because what happened was the monitor was stuck there, and when Orton RKO'd, he landed on the monitor. His whole back was fucked up. You can see big welts and everything. I was like, now that is such an avoidable accident.
Was Orton the one that was always getting cut and stuff on the table? Was that him?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like last year?
It's like, come on, why can't you? You're standing right fucking there. You see the monitor. You can't just zoop so he doesn't get hurt. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I thought they went a little too far with, like, Bryan's got an arm injury. Like, he was in a stretcher and everything.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when he wins, he's got both of his arms.
Yeah, he's fine.
Like, what the fuck?
He's fine.
Yeah, a little too far in that, but yeah, of course, the ending was very great.
The culmination of everything.
Yeah, it was definitely excellent, and then the huge arena with doing the yes chant, and that guy certainly deserves it. If you have a chance, you watch on the network. They have the Daniel Bryan special. I think it's like the Road WrestleMania or something. I don't know what the hell it's called, but it's very, very good. It goes through his whole career.
The build up, yeah.
Before WWE, into WWE, and all the things he's been through and everything. And a lot of people, what I've read, I think it's true. Like, he's the most deserving champion of all time. It's quite possible that it's true, So, there you go. WrestleMania.
Right. Now, what we'll do, we're not going to do a full recap of that week's Raw, even though it is an incredibly great Raw because it's, we have another one to talk about. But a few, as usual, a few crazy things mixing up after that WrestleMania. So first of all, Daniel Bryan is now the champion. Of course, the Authority's out to get him. Triple H puts himself in a title match with Daniel Bryan later in the night. Keep in mind, though, the Shield are now anti-Authority. And that's kind of like lingering in the back of your head, is that the Shield is really anti, Kane, Triple H, all of them. They don't like them anymore. And so it culminates with Daniel Bryan having this match against Triple H. Basically, Triple H not caring, getting disqualified because Orton and Batista interfere. They're all beating the living shit out of Bryan, and all of a sudden the Shield come out and save Bryan. So now really what you're faced with is Bryan and the Shield are the big faces of the company, while the Authority are and also
With Batista and Orton are now
part of that group.
We're now a tag team that they're like, you're going for the tag, but we don't want those things.
What the hell do we want that for? Right.
Oh, that's nice.
What do we want that for? Those
We don't want to go for that thing.
The Usos, the fuck are they? We don't want them. Screw that.
It's like, oh, that's nice, guys. We're going back to this now, huh?
So that's that one plotline. RVD returns,
which
we kind of predicted already that he would.
I'd like to see him do something substantial. Like it's almost like, oh, look, RVD's here, and then he just does a couple spots, and oh well, how nice. Like I don't know. I think they could get him going with something with Heyman maybe, or something, some playoff, something that from the past, or he's even kind of cutting promos that they kind of made him do. When he got there, and they were trying to bury him, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm RVD. Everything's cool. I don't really care. I'm just here. I just want to do some frog splashes, whatever, man."
Right.
Here we go. He's got more to give than that. I think. So.
I agree.
He's in that tournament. I think he's gonna lose now, though.
Of course he is. What else? Cesaro. So now Cesaro, even though he is not a face, becomes the next Paul Heyman guy, and that's a big change. People I don't think were expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's under the helm of Paul Heyman, so he's getting a huge push. And by far, in my opinion, well, there's two other things we'll talk about. The Warrior makes his final appearance ever, which we'll talk about why. But he comes out with he has the Warrior face mask on, and he does a crazy promo, which is perfect. It was very, Warrior-esque of the old school Warrior. And basically not putting himself over, but putting over the fans, saying it's you guys are the ones who are the reasons that I'm back. You're the reason that I ever had a legacy, and you're going to continue to do that for other people. So really, thank you was the purpose of his promo, which was surreal because the guy passes away the next day.
Unbelievable.
Just walking to his car, has a massive heart attack and dies. It's like, what the hell?
It's really crazy. The promo was fitting in a lot of ways. He talked about, when a man breathes his last breath.
Yeah, what the hell?
And things like
what
that.
the flip? That it was so foreboding of what was about to happen.
Yeah.
And who could have even thought that was the case?
They did a great job with this week of showing Warrior stuff, showing Warrior matches. I was watching it, it's like, looking back on it, he had it was very like a very positive message I think he was trying to put out there, right? For the kids and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like this fighting spirit almost like thing. And I think it kind of lost on people and stuff, and some people look at it and kind of mocked it, and WWE even mocked him for a while. And
right.
I hope that video that they made, the self-destruction, that's like never seen again. It should be like destroyed. When they made that a few years ago.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't sign their contract.
Right.
Right, and work with them, and because that's all they cared about. So hopefully that's like never seen again. But the Warrior's a big deal, especially when I was a kid. I think a lot of kids have that picture where they made paint.
Right,
they made a Warrior outfit.
Yep.
Or they're doing a pose or something. A lot of the wrestlers even were posting that they all had that. It was like a big influential thing. And it was like, Warrior's a big deal with the merchandise, and kids wanting to look like the Warrior.
Oh, it was huge.
And, yeah. Do you remember that costume they sold? It was like in a box.
Yeah.
It had a shirt that had muscles
on it.
Yeah,
the fake muscle shirt.
A crappy mask.
Yeah, crappy plastic vinyl mask.
Everybody had that thing,
Yep.
It was a big deal, man, And I respect him. I think at times he wouldn't take Vince's shit. He laughed a bunch of times, because as we found out, like it's not always the best place to work, and so,
right.
It's sad, very sad that it turned out that way.
For me, now I talked a little bit about this on a episode of Ask the King earlier this week. Someone specifically asked about my experiences with the Warrior. What was my opinion? My opinion is this. I mean, obviously, that lifestyle is so rough on your body, and you got to appreciate what these people do.
Yep.
And that ultimately was probably one of the major factors leading to this tragedy that happened this past week. For me, my personal take is that I'm one of the very few people I didn't like him. And the reason I didn't like him had nothing to do with him or his ring character. It was because WWE pushed him to the point where he beat Hogan at WrestleMania while he already had the Intercontinental title. Now he's the world champion. They basically put a rocket in his fucking ass and just to the top. And then guess what happened? They got rid of him. Or, like you said.
All combusted.
Right. And it was like, for me, it was like, I loved Hogan. I was like a big Hogan mark when I was a kid.
Oh.
And to see, imagine that, if Hogan's like your hero, and to see him get completely pushed aside for this up-and-comer, who they then drop like a hot bag of shit. And it's like, all that. What was all that for? And I remember I had friends in school who were like, "Oh my God, we love the Warrior and the Warrior." And I was like, "No, I like Hogan. I think Hogan's going to win the match." And of course, Hogan loses, and I was all upset about it as a kid.
Phil, but many years later, Warrior came to WCW.
Oh yes,
and he lost to Hogan in
that's right.
Probably one of the worst matches of all time. Because Hogan's that much of a dick that he would bring him in just to beat him,
just to get his revenge.
When no one cared, 8 years later, it was. But.
So for me personally, because of the business and the booking, I didn't like it. It was nothing personal against him.
But he was at that time though. He was the most over guy.
Yes, he was absolutely.
So putting the belt on him, that was a huge deal. And so many people, that was like the first wrestling they ever saw, including myself. So many people you talk to that are around my age, like that was the match that made people. Oh, I love wrestling now because I saw that. That was the first match they ever saw, or whatever. And that's certainly that way for me. And that was a huge deal at the time.
Right.
So.
All right, and then I would say for me, by far the most shocking thing that actually happened the night after Raw was, of all things, the Divas. Because Paige, who we've been talking about recently, how she's been on NXT, she's the NXT, Divas champion, and how she basically has trained half the goddamn locker room of the Divas to learn anything about wrestling, but they've held her back in developmental for 100 years. I think WWE finally realized, wow, these other Divas really aren't as good as AJ, and we need to bring in someone who can have a good feud with these Divas.
Yeah, and AJ's going away for a bit.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
So they were like,
what are we going to do?
At the time, when it first happened, I was thinking like they could have built to this match. Why did they just do it like that?
Why'd it happen out of nowhere?
But it looks like AJ's taking some time away. So who else? What are you going to do with the belt, right? Who are you going to put it on? Freaking
right.
So it made the most sense to do it that way. Now she's going to defend it, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I wonder if AJ's coming back at all.
I don't know. It was so weird because basically here's what happens. AJ comes to the ring. Oh, I beat all the Divas last night. Paige comes out. She says, "I just want to congratulate you." It makes no sense. I want to congratulate you. I'm like, who the fuck are you? You're not even on the show. Like, to come out and congratulate her. It makes no sense. So of course AJ, let's have a match now, and just for the sake of it, I'll make it for the Divas title. Of course, now you know what's going to happen. So AJ puts her into the Black Widow. Paige reverses into the Paige Turner, which is one of her. It's actually not her finisher. It's one of her signature moves, I believe.
It's mostly a finisher, but people have been kicking out of it from time to time.
Yeah.
NXT.
So she does it and wins instantly, and it's weird because now we haven't seen AJ since then. AJ's just gone.
She takes some time away. I think she's actually engaged to CM Punk or something. There's a rumor.
Whoa.
We'll see. I don't know. See if she comes back.
So yeah, she's gone, and already they announced this week that her first title defense. Paige will face Tamina. It's like, okay, AJ doesn't exist. They don't explain it. She doesn't exist anymore. So
this could be a whole new thing for the Divas. Obviously it meant a lot to Paige. If you saw the video, she cried after she won and everything.
Right.
Then you just put her in there, have great matches, and win, and just have a long title reign. And if AJ comes back, you can never rematch, and there's a lot of things you can go, places you can go with. This should be exciting.
All right. So what a night after WrestleMania with all those changes. So now what we'll do is we'll jump into this week's events. And talk about everything. Of course, this week, the biggest thing was the tribute to the Ultimate Warrior, who, so shockingly passed away out of nowhere after just being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it really is sad because you see the Hall of Fame, he was there with his daughters, he's talking to his daughters, you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah, younger kids, too.
Yeah, younger kids, and now they don't have a dad, and it's just so depressing. But I'm glad that WWE is doing the right thing, and they did a nice tribute to him this all week, and they're going about it the professional way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, they shit on him in the past. Don't ever show that stuff again. They like to act like things never happened, so act like that never happened.
Yeah, exactly. They announced there's a number 1 contenders tournament for the Intercontinental Championship, and it starts tonight.
That's good, like we were talking about. You have one world title now, so by default, all the other belts should mean something. So if you present them that way,
right?
Hopefully they'll start doing that.
We'll have to see. So the first match was Rob Van Dam against Alberto Del Rio. It was a good match, but keep in mind this is the same match they had like 4 times last year. And RVD goes over and advances to the next stage of the tournament.
Do you have the bracket? Because I think it's going to be Cesaro and Sheamus. When I looked at it, but I don't know. If you can pull it up.
Well, what? It's Del Rio and Rob Van Dam. It was...
Cesaro won.
Cesaro, but who did he wrestle?
I don't know. I don't remember. That's what I was saying if you had it.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
I think it's going to be Sheamus and Cesaro, basically, but when I was looking at the bracket.
Okay. Well, we'll see as we go through. It'll list all the matches.
Okay.
Right, Baxel defeats Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Nobody cares. Divas champion Paige defeats Alicia Fox, so it's her first actual, match, and she looks really good. But we already know that. If you've been watching NXT, you know Paige. You know how good she is. Batista and Randy Orton defeat the Usos via disqualification because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about the titles anyway.
We don't want those things. What the hell is this?
They got put into this match by Triple H. They're like, why do we care about this? And then it's a horrible match. Cesaro defeated Mark Henry. That's right. Cesaro defeats Mark Henry. So he goes to the next stage of the Intercontinental title tournament. Alexander Rusev, finally. My God, it only took how many fucking months of promotion. He's finally on. Yeah. He's having matches. Of course, the matches they're having him have at first are kind of lame.
Beats Xavier Woods.
Squashes Xavier Woods, which he's done on NXT like 47 times.
Yeah,
anyway.
that NXT Arrival show, he came out, he put Xavier Woods in a submission.
Yep.
Xavier's tapping out. He doesn't let go. He starts screaming and crying. So Xavier Woods, I don't know if he's going to have much of a run.
That young man's going places.
But Rusev might be going some places. He's a big dude.
Yes.
Moves pretty quickly for a big guy. The gimmick is
he's different. He's not a big guy. He's not a big guy gimmick. He's cool because he has the Muay Thai that he actually implements into his stuff. And
he's got a chance. They got to stay away from that America sucks and this is what Americans.
Yeah.
Once he starts pulling out the hot dog and the toppings and they go, this is what Americans eat.
This is what Americans
That's when it's over. That's that's what they were doing with Cesaro for a bit. And
that'll be what's her name? The ravishing Russian. What's her name?
Lana.
Lana.
I think so.
She'll do it. She'll put out like a giant fucking.
They gotta do that.
Foot long.
Once they start doing that,
she'll pull out a Subway sandwich. This is what you eat. This shit. Slaps on the ground.
Yeah. Americans don't know anything.
Americans,
you're stupid.
Fuck you, Americans.
You're fat.
Rusev, fuck you.
You smell. It's all right. It's true, but
it is true. But
when in wrestling gimmick, it's not very entertaining because it's just been done so many times.
So we got Sheamus defeats Jack Swagger. He moves on to the next stage of the Intercontinental title picture.
Who does?
Sheamus. He beat Jack Swagger.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Big Show versus Damian Sandow never happens.
That's what they wrote, too.
That's what it says here.
Never happens. Never happened.
Because he basically just knocked him out before the fight started. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
John Cena challenges Bray Wyatt to a steel cage match at Extreme Rules, which is completely pointless because he challenges him to the steel cage match thinking that it'll keep the Wyatts out when they're going to find a way in anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Plus, he already beat them all.
That's right.
Beat the shit out of all of them. He put one of them through the barricade.
Now, of course.
One got hit with a chair.
The biggest news this week, John.
Yes.
Is that Fandango has broken up with Summer Rae. They're not a team anymore. Summer Rae is going off to do her own thing.
Yeah, you know how they did it? Over Twitter?
Over Twitter.
Did you see that?
That's where they broke up over Twitter.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I know. And
now it's a work thing over Twitter.
And now it's Layla. Layla is with him, only Layla cannot dance. So she basically poses the same way he does. Seriously, they're like posing, saying that they're dancing. I'm like, there's not one dance move there. They're not doing any dancing at all. So it's a gimmick that's definitely worked itself into the ground.
And Michelle McCool come back.
Santino and Emma, still teaming.
Come on, why?
Yeah, I know.
Come on now.
So
So
Layla sweeps Emma off the turnbuckle and pins her for the win.
Why?
So they win.
What you should be doing now is you're building Emma. Keep her away from Paige, though. You have Emma destroy everybody. You have Paige destroy everybody. Then you come to the match. You come to the head in a couple months, and people go, oh, my God. It's the first Divas match that I wanted to see in 15 years. That's all you got to do. You let them win, you keep them apart, and then you put them together. And they have the same match they had before. It's fine. I don't know.
All right.
Come on, Layla. Like you're really gonna why? You're really gonna or Fandango? Are you going to push either one of them, really?
No.
So what's the point of it?
There's no point. Bad News Barrett is back, by the way. We forgot to mention that the week before he made his re-debut to wrestling. Not just giving bad news, but actually wrestling.
They should get like a stripper for Fandango. Then he
What?
might get like a stripper in there.
What the?
Then he might get an actual pop again.
Get a stripper. Should she be naked, John?
And you know what?
Should she actually be frontal?
And you know what? A couple weeks ago, Triple H mocked the fans, and he goes, "Oh,
He did.
You guys used to like Fandango, but now you don't. You used to do the thing, the do. Now you don't do it. You know why they don't do it anymore? Because they killed it.
Right.
They started, who's Fandangoing it now? And they were
Right.
showing SmackDown and Raw, and they made it into this really hokey, stupid thing that they acted like they created, which they didn't. You know?
Right.
And then people stopped doing it because it became very uncool to do.
Right.
Right. When they're telling you to do it, no one wants to do
Right,
it.
no one wants to do it, exactly. All right, so Bad News Barrett defeats Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Clean in a good match. It was actually a good match.
Yeah.
To advance. So you're 4 for next week. You've got Sheamus against Barrett and Cesaro against RVD.
Yeah, it's going to be Cesaro and Sheamus.
Cesaro RVD could be a fucking great match, man. I want to see how that goes.
I think Heyman, it'd be interesting to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
If they just act like Heyman and RVD don't know each other,
Right.
then I'll be pissed again.
They don't know who they are.
Or they just act like, or they mention it slightly, but they have no real interaction. There should be some kind of interaction, or some kind of thing that could lead to something down
He's
the line.
better than you, Rob. He's
He
better
was
than
always,
you.
he was better than you ever were, or something, and then RVD's pissed, and maybe
What do you think about this stupid name for Cesaro? The King of Swing.
It's stupid.
It's horrible. I like the Swiss Superman. They use that.
that's
Okay,
good.
that's good.
Yep.
The King of fucking Swing? What are you... It's horrible.
I don't know.
That's like some dumb thing that,
It's funny because they didn't let him do the swing in the first place when he got there.
Right.
Now he does the swing.
Right.
He always has to do it, and that's his whole fucking gimmick is that he does the swing.
Right. And then the main event is... Oh, by the way, we have to mention, Daniel Bryan was not on TV this week, but for good reason. Daniel Bryan actually got married in real life to Brie Bella this week and is on his honeymoon.
Yeah.
So we were actually talking about this. It's kind of weird because of all the timing, right, to get married. You'd be like, right after WrestleMania, when he's the champion, he's off TV for a week. And we were talking about, gee, why would that have happened? And I said, well, wait a minute. Look at the past 2 WrestleManias. So 2 years ago, he's in a 16-second jobber match with Sheamus. Yes, last year he's in a horrible tag match with Kane. So maybe there's potential, keep in mind, weddings are planned far in advance.
What was the match last year?
It was a Kane and Bryan against, I don't fucking know.
You were there. You don't remember?
I don't know. Who knows?
Who the fuck was it? We
It
were
was
there.
awful.
I don't
I don't
remember.
know.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was. It was bad.
All right.
That's all I remember. It was bad.
Someone will tell me. I don't remember.
But yeah, it's like, after 2 years of having real shit treatment at WrestleMania, he probably thought that for the 3rd year in a row he would get shit treatment, and so he schedules his wedding right after.
You'd have to watch Total Divas to know why they did it.
Oh my god!
Actually, that probably had something to do with it because they wanted to film it before the season was done or whatever. Because they know that's on the show. That probably had factored into it also.
Maybe it could be.
Yeah.
So he's off TV. So it's not that's why we're not talking about him at all. But he'll be back on Monday night to wrestle, of all people, Kane, who was talked into by Stephanie putting the mask back on, and supposedly he's going to be the big red monster again. He will not be.
You gotta be the
Corporate
Viper
Kane.
again. You gotta be the monster again.
You gotta be. Yeah, it's the same plot. I know. So in the main
Why
event,
wouldn't he work for Triple H? With the mask on and everything. Triple H only pretending he was raping his dead girlfriend or whatever. So yeah, why wouldn't he work with Triple H and Stephanie? Makes perfect sense.
all right. So the main event is the Shield. They're going to get basically punished for what they did last week when they helped out Daniel Bryan. So they're going to be in a main event match. They end up being in a 11-on-3 match where they have to go up against, here we go, Jack Swagger, Bad News Barrett, Alexander Rusev, Fandango, Rybaxel, Titus O'Neil, and 3-man band. Okay? But it ends up going to a no contest because while this is happening, they all just violate the rules and beat the shit out of them. Which then prompts Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista to come out reunited as Evolution.
There you go.
Because that's definitely what we all were looking for.
Some people were, I think, like when Triple H and Orton first screwed Bryan at SummerSlam, people were like, "Oh, Evolution!" They were excited about it,
Oh,
but then they never
God.
gave it to him. To a certain fan, I think that means something, Evolution, because kind of the fans that came in after.
Yeah, if you were growing up there, if that was the time.
If you came in after the Monday Night Wars,
Right.
that was like the first heels they ever saw. People, some people really like them. It doesn't really, me personally, I don't really. To me, it's Batista, Orton, and Triple H. I mean, it's guys that pretty much cut the same promo. They have the same match,
the same character
every time,
and it makes no sense because both Orton and Batista want the title. So why are they teaming up for stuff that's non-title related?
I don't know, but
against the person who, by the way, screwed them both over at WrestleMania by putting Daniel Bryan into that match.
Well,
it makes no sense.
He tried to help them though in the match, but
it makes no sense.
If it's done, if they're gonna like lose to the Shield, like that could be good, and I think they could have good matches with the Shield too. I think it could be fun. But yeah, they have to put them over ultimately. I don't think they should be like the top guys. And Triple H he's still like the top guy in the show, among them.
Yep.
When he shouldn't be. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I know some people are into it. That's cool. It's fine.
I have a wait and see attitude. Wait and see attitude. Let's see what happens.
I'm not a fan of those guys. They're not really good.
All right, so SmackDown. Triple H comes out, cuts a promo, announces that Extreme Rules will be 3-on-3 Evolution against the Shield. Which prompts JBL to go nuts. What if you could have seen, the Road Warriors against the Usos or this or that or
What the hell?
He's doing like dream match
You're comparing
scenarios.
The Usos to the Road Warriors?
Well, I don't know if he specifically said that, but he starts pulling out like dream match scenarios that never happened. I think he specifically said like the NWO against DX. I think he said
what if you saw like that. The Iron Sheik versus Bryan Blair?
Oh my God, Bryan Blair, fuck him. Okay. What
if you saw Kofi Kingston?
Yes. Against Coco Beware.
There's Coco Beware.
There you go.
It's kind of racist. Let's say that.
All right. So the first match of the night, Big E against Alberto Del Rio. Excuse me. And Del Rio loses this match in the weirdest way. He's got Big E illegally, because Big E's holding the ropes. He's got him in the arm bar or the arm breaker. And the ref counts to 5. And at 5... Alberto releases, and the ref says, "You didn't release by 5. You're disqualified."
Wait. This is Alberto and Big E?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. Like I don't know if it was a botch. I don't
know.
Didn't
it happen in like a pay-per-view with Alberto at some match?
Probably. It's just a weird angle, and the announcers too are confused. Like the announcers are like, "I thought he released at 5.
Didn't it happen with RVD? Was that RVD and Alberto when they went for when he was the champion? I think that happened.
Probably. I don't remember.
Same thing.
I don't remember too much about it. It's all haze.
Yeah, well,
anything involving RVD is all a haze to me. Okay, Paul Heyman comes out and says, "I have a very important message to deliver to the WWE Universe. That his client Brock Lesnar conquered the streak." And he says it about maybe 40 times.
Yeah.
And then he goes away, and that's it. That's the whole promo.
Like, well, where is he? You're
exactly.
Right. You're right. Paul, you're right. Brock is great. I want to pay money to see him. Where could I go to see him right now and pay my money? Where is he?
Right.
Oh, he's not there? Okay, I'll turn the channel off. Thank you.
Paige, again in action, and this is good because, for those who haven't been watching NXT and you haven't seen her, you're getting a taste of what she can do. Has a match with Oksana.
She's just destroying every diva now.
It's a decent match. Well, no, that's the thing. She doesn't destroy them. They're actually good matches that she puts on. She puts over the other person.
Yeah.
Has a pretty decent match with Oksana, but beats her not with the same move that she won with on Monday, but this time she uses the Scorpion Crosslock modified hold, which is another one of her moves that she uses.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like this because they're showing that this Paige is a very diversified wrestler, and this is why she basically trained most of the locker rooms, because she has such a repertoire of moves. And I hope that that's what they push, that maybe like every match she does something a little different. She has maybe 5 different ways.
That's what they did with Brett when they were pushing Brett as a single.
Right.
He would always find, a lot of times different ways to do things, different ways to win. They would put that over the wrestling side.
Right.
That's what they have to do.
Do you want to talk about El Torito versus Hornswoggle, or can we
What happened with this? Hornswoggle turned heel on the main event?
Hornswoggle is now part of 3MB.
Yeah.
He's taking over for Heath Slater, and he dresses just like him.
Okay.
And he wrestles Torito.
Because they're going to build to like a 6-man with Matadores. All right, don't even talk about it.
Okay. Thank you. Rusev wrestles R-Truth, pretty much squashes him, puts him in the submission hold, and destroys him, breaks his whole body into pieces. And
thanks for coming, R-Truth.
Thanks a lot. Santino Marella defeats Fandango.
A lot of people coming, though. Bo's coming.
Yes, they did mention him, too. They mentioned him.
They had a video.
Oh, what's his name? The dude, the party dude? Adam, I think?
The party dude? The hype man? CJ, you talking about CJ?
No. The guy who's the partier, supposed to be like the rock star partier, the British rock star partier dude.
Okay.
He has all the people that come out with him.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Rose,
dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Adam Rose.
Rose.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Adam Rose. They keep running his promo. Yeah. So there's going to be a few new people over the next couple of months that are going to be debuting.
New people are coming. Other people got to go. So I wonder.
It's pretty funny because Adam Rose, the best thing about him is his entrance. He just comes out with all the people. Then he has a crappy match, and he leaves with all the people, and everyone loves it.
It'll be interesting to see how that comes across on the main show.
Right.
You know, the big stage and everything.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So Santino Marella defeats Fandango, gets his revenge for Fandango. Does a horrible comedy spot with Emma at the end of the match where he has the Cobra on his hand and he like touches her, so she pretends that her arm is limp. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Poor Emma, you know, she has potential to be great, and they're having her do all this junk. And the main event is Batista versus Sheamus, where Batista wins clean by powerbombing Sheamus pretty roughly into hell. And, it was a good match.
Think about that, though. Why would that be? You know, like, isn't Sheamus so much more of an upside than him? And
they're trying to build up...
Can you say Batista's more over than him, or he means more?
They are, because they're trying to build up Evolution now. That's the thing.
But could you say that, though? Like, could you say Batista means more to the fans, or he's more over or anything?
No, but I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to now build him as a legitimate threat.
Would you put Flair back in there?
I actually would. I would like that. I would like to see the original Evolution, and Flair could be more of the manager role now instead of fighting, which would
I would
be
like
good
to see
for
them
him.
maybe add a new guy in there that gets someone over. Like, I don't know who it would be, because everyone's buried.
Bo Dallas.
Maybe. I think Bo's fine on his own, though. He's got a whole thing. He's got all the... He's very entertaining to me. I think I love the, he's this insane person.
Well, let's see if they keep that
thinks
up
he's
or
a
not.
hero and everything. Yeah, we'll see.
So that's it. That's it for SmackDown. And like I said, next week it looks like we're going to have the return of Daniel Bryan. We'll see where these plot lines are going. Keep in mind that Extreme Rules is in only 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll debate if we want to do Sims of that or not. It would be our last Sims ever, unless we can figure out how to do it when I move.
Should probably do it.
You know.
Although we can't even do we can do the 6-man. You can do we can do
pretty much. Yeah, we'll be able to do the matches.
Horse swallowing Torito. You can do.
I do have El Torito, so
we can do it.
Oh my God.
It can be done.
All right. Now let's talk about TNA.
First thing I want to say about TNA. Christopher Daniels gone. Kazarian gone.
Wow.
Chris Sabin gone.
They all left.
And
they don't even mention them on the show anymore.
Sad. Those are the three, beginning the core of the X division.
Right. Yeah.
Chris Sabin been there a long time.
Been there for a long ass time.
Chris Sabin, I think they put the belt on him last summer. It actually hurt him.
Yeah. You're right.
It
was a joke.
The belt actually hurts people in that company because everyone has had the belt. Who hasn't had it? Everyone's had it.
Shark Boy.
He didn't have it. He's not there, really. I mean, like the guys who were actually on the show. Everyone's had the thing.
True.
So, I don't know. I mean, those guys are going to do good things elsewhere.
All right. So with TNA, let's talk about this because John and I were talking about this before the show, and we were just so disgusted. So, WWE, for the past year, has been doing this plotline with Daniel Bryan. He's the underdog. He doesn't look like the quintessential WWE champion. He's the B-plus player. He's not good enough for the Authority. And it was this big year-long build-up of him finally overcoming at WrestleMania, becoming the champion. And now it's the culmination, and we're going to see where they go with it. We don't know because he had a week off, so we actually literally have no idea where it's going to go. So what does TNA decide to do? Well, they say, well, we're pretty much completely out of creative ideas that anyone wants to see. So we're just going to completely steal the idea that WWE's doing with no kind of even hiding it.
No build.
No build. No, you know what I mean?
It wasn't even the Daniel Bryan. You could say, well, it was built, right? It wasn't like they did it overnight.
I seriously feel like they took a piece of tracing paper and just, you know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Like the coal, you do the coal rubbing of something, and you slap it here and say, that's my product. It's the same fucking plot line.
I feel bad, though, because I like Eric Young. I think he's good. I don't know if he's a world champion. But if you remember, on this very show, a while ago, when Daniel Bryan first started growing the beard, and he started doing this stuff with Kane, I said, wow, they're turning Daniel Bryan into, their version of Eric Young.
Right. Yep, you said that.
So they kind of I don't know if they took from that or at all. I'm just saying it was kind of... He reminded me of Eric Young, the way he was acting, and I was like, why the hell are they making Bryan Danielson the best wrestler in the world acting like Eric Young?
Eric Young.
But now they're trying to make Eric Young be
right.
Daniel Bryan.
Right.
And I was like, what the...
So within just a few weeks, keep in mind we talked about TNA last time we did Smart Guys 2 weeks ago, and none of this was any of this was in the picture at all.
Yeah.
Somehow Eric Young wins this over-the-top rope battle royal, making him the #1 contender out of nowhere. Gets the title match against Magnus. The whole plot line is, well, he doesn't look like a champion. Magnus is the quintessential champion. He's the underdog, Beats Magnus, now he's the champion.
And it's just a mess because Magnus established as,
right.
as like a top, wow, Magnus is a champion, wow.
Right.
And the problem, like with the company right now, like no one's over.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy on that show that people will pay money to see that they have? And like there should be many of them because they're like Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode,
right.
Storm. There's a lot of good guys, but they just screw them all over.
Yep.
That's the part where you're like, I don't want to watch this now.
It just becomes a mess, a convoluted mess,
Yeah.
And the show opens up this week where Eric Young comes out with the title, and he's celebrating with the title, and then Abyss basically challenges him at one point and says, you claim you're going to be a fighting champion, put up your title tonight, and he says, okay, we're going to do it in a monstrous ball match, which is pretty crazy. At the same time, Dixie Carter literally comes out. I swear to God, she just read the same script Stephanie read 6 months ago to Daniel Bryan. Eric doesn't look like a champion. You have a beard and it smells. The same shit they said to Daniel Bryan. It's literally the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for them to call him a lawn troll.
He doesn't have the size of a champion or the face of a champion, but he has the heart of a champion. I keep saying that.
Right. It's the same shit.
And it's sad because, like, again, he had the beard and the goofy shit before Daniel Bryan was doing it.
Right.
But, yeah.
Even then, and this is what I said to John. I said, so John, who did Eric Young wrestle this week? In a grueling, brutal match on Impact. Abyss. Who's Daniel Bryan going to wrestle on Monday in a grueling, brutal match on Raw? Oh, Kane. The same person. It's like it's the same freaking thing. In fact, I would even say if Daniel Bryan wasn't on his honeymoon this week, he would have wrestled Kane this week, and it would have had the 2 matches the same week.
The same night? Yeah, the same week, yeah.
The same exact week. You would have watched the same show twice, right?
And now, like, I don't know what's going on, man. Yeah, Russo's writing the show. They're saying he's not. I guess they admitted this week that he's a consultant only. But if you watch, it's pretty obvious.
It's his crap. Yeah.
It's his crap where there's no build to anything. Things just happen. He thinks anything could happen is genius, but you're just screwing people over when they win the belt out of nowhere, or a guy loses it out of nowhere like that.
Frustrating. Very frustrating.
It's bad, and they're in trouble. They're going to actually run the Manhattan Center for Impact tapings. They're running 3 nights in a row, which is where we saw Ring of Honor last year. But there's a lot of people saying that there's no way they're going to be able to sell out 3 nights, or sell even close to a sellout. 3 nights. It's a 1,000-seat arena, New York City, which is the biggest market in the country.
And they can't sell it for 3 nights.
And if they can't sell that, then they should just close. People,
Jeez. Bully Ray's floating around, has nothing to do.
Well, he comes out, he shakes hands with the fans and everything. He loves the fans.
The great face, Bully Ray, who almost destroyed the company.
They're having a match with Sam Shaw and Anderson where, like, the loser is committed or has to go to a hospital.
Oh my God.
So it's really off the rails.
Velvet
the Wolves,
Sky,
they kind of wasted the Wolves.
Well, we'll talk about that because there's a match. We'll talk about that.
Kind of blowing it.
Velvet Sky and Angelina Love are back together as the beautiful people. They're full-on heels now. There's a street fight between Madison Rayne and Velvet Sky. Angelina Love gets involved multiple times, but Madison Rayne ends up winning that match. Excuse me. The Wolves wrestled the Bromans for the titles, the tag titles, and for the second time in a row, the Bromans get disqualified. So it's, again, an illegitimate match.
It's so weird.
It's so odd.
It's so weird. They won on a house show. They lost it in Japan or whatever.
Right.
And now they can't win. And they keep having the match.
Yep.
I think they're just stalling because they don't have any other teams. So they're like, you know what? Just, you guys go as long as you could possibly go with this.
Yep. Oh, this is interesting.
Willow's crazy.
EC3 and Rockstar Spud have a handicap match against Willow, who, is pretty nuts. Crazy Jeff Hardy. So Jeff wins the match. But then after the match, it looks like they're going to team up and beat the crap out of Willow. And Angle comes out of nowhere.
He's back for a bit.
He's been gone for like a month, I think. He's back, and so Angle's going to be wrestling EC3 soon.
His contract's done in like July.
Yep.
So will he be back long term, or is it just kind of like, it's just it? Is he going to lose to EC3 maybe and be done, or what?
Right.
She also mentioned, I don't know if you knew this, but Sting was on the network, the WWE network.
I was gonna save that for the end because I knew about that. That just happened.
Okay, I ruined it. Yeah. All right, like I never said that.
That's the last thing we'll talk about on the show.
I never said it.
Okay, so Tigre Uno,
who was teaming with Sonata,
is now his opponent.
Now they're fighting each other
for the X Division title. He has a match, and he beats Sonata this time, which now makes the count 1-1 on a best-of-3 series for the X Division title. Bobby Roode has a match against Gunner, a tables match. This is a warm-up because he's going to have a tables match against Bully Ray at the upcoming Sacrifice pay-per-view, which I don't know when it is, but they're saying it's coming up soon. And, of course, Bobby Roode, can't win a match clean. So James Storm comes out, interferes 5,000 times against Gunner because he hates Gunner so much. And so Beer Money pretty much in every effect is back. I mean, they're just not official yet, but next week they're teaming up. Next week it's actually Gunner and why am I having a brain fart right now? Who's teaming up with Gunner next week?
I don't know.
Is it Joe? I can't remember. No, Bully and Gunner against Beer Money next week.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun matches, man. That's like the stuff they should be doing. But that's fun. That's gonna be good. I think that could be good. That's like a crazy brawl. Mm-hmm. And then if you go from that to Beer Money versus the Wolves, that could be some really good stuff.
Yes.
But just a matter of like how they it's hard to screw up, but they do it. Well, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to like screw that up, but they'll find a way.
They'll find a way. Yeah.
Hopefully they won't find a way.
Well, we'll have to see. And the main event: Abyss versus Eric Young in a Monsters Ball match, which was absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
If you remember, just like 3 weeks ago, they had one. It wasn't as good. This one was way better. They go all out. They're using everything, thumbtacks, every possible thing you can think of. Everyone's hitting. They hit multiple finishers. The match ends when Eric Young actually kind of almost trips Abyss, and Abyss falls back first into a barbed wire board, and basically he acts like he's stuck to it. He can't move. So Eric ends up doing like a super flying elbow drop from the corner and retains the title that way. Of course, he's bleeding, got thumbtacks all over him. It's gross. But it was a good fight. It was funny because the announcers go, "My God, is this the kind of match we could expect all the time now that Eric Young is champion? Oh my God!"
For his sake, I hope he doesn't do that.
Yeah,
they might do that just to be like, look, he's a true champion. We have to destroy him every match.
Right. So that's the deal with TNA. They quite literally have stolen the Daniel Bryan plot line from WWE and made it their main event plot line.
They've lost a lot of their core guys.
Right, their core guys are leaving. It's confusing because now you don't know who to root for. Like, sure, I would love to root for Bully Ray, but tomorrow will he turn heel again?
Will he be gone? Will he be gone tomorrow?
Who are the top faces in the company? I have no fucking clue.
Eric Young.
You know what I mean? Eric Young and Bully.
The Wolves.
The Wolves. MVP. That's the other thing. MVP has issues with Kenny King of all people.
And why the hell is Dixie back?
They never explained it. She just showed up, and they even said that. What are you doing here? And she never explained it.
I don't need to explain that. I just am here. Here we go.
So TNA's a mess.
I'm thinking about going to the shows or one of the
New York shows.
I'm thinking about going to one of them.
I
think it could be fun. I think it could be with that audience. I think it could be brutal on them. It could be very bad. If the place is like half full,
yeah,
and everyone just goes there to shit on them, or like go with an open mind, but when they do something stupid, they just go nuts.
The whole show, they're just yelling "Fuck you, Russo."
It could be bad. So I might go. I'm not going all three. I'll go maybe one. Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
Depends how much the tickets are.
All right, so that
is free.
That will do it for this week's insanely cumulative. Oh wait, one more thing. The Sting thing. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
The Sting thing. The last thing we do have to mention this. So Sting has officially signed with WWE. It's official. Everyone knows it now. Because he appeared on the WWE Network this week to talk about The Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And he gave his opinions and thoughts on him, and once everyone saw that, they're like, that's it, So what capacity will Sting be in the WWE remains to be seen. Is he going to be an active wrestler? Is he going to be one of these guys they bring in every once in a while just to do a dream match? Some people are speculating Sting versus Taker, or Sting versus this, or Sting,
Well, they asked, Sting was at WrestleCon, and they asked him, like, some stuff. He said his final match, he would like to fight Undertaker. So then people start going, oh, Sting versus Undertaker next year.
Yes.
That's definitely happening. Which I think you're kind of jumping to things. Just because Sting says something doesn't mean it's automatically booked and it's done.
Right. That's it. That was the plan.
He's able to him. Yeah. I'd like to see that. I don't know if we'll see it though. I think Lesnar and Taker are still going to be
Sting versus Joker Sting.
They could do that now.
Joker Sting versus.
Sting's a great asset to the company in a lot of different ways. You know, you just put him on the network, talk about things that he was involved in from like
Hell yeah.
the late '80s and stuff. He goes all the way back to then. I mean, from a training standpoint, from a even a performance, like
I could see him as a locker room leader. I really could. He's being in there motivating the young talent.
He's absolutely an asset in all capacities. He's
that's a huge.
He's one of the good guys too.
Even if he doesn't wrestle, he's a great acquisition for the company because, like you were about to say, he's one of the genuinely good people in the business. He's never fucked anyone.
What have you ever heard about him? Since 1986 or whatever it was.
Right.
He's been around. What did you ever hear bad about Sting?
Yeah, nothing. Zero. Everyone says he's the stand-up guy. He's the guy who's always been out.
He's obviously a company guy too. Like he's stuck with these crazy ass companies for years on end.
Yep.
No matter what they were doing to him, because he felt loyal to them. So there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So very interesting to see where that will go. The last thing I want to leave you with is there's been tons of new content on WWE Network, including just in recent weeks. Like you said, the special covering WrestleMania, the build-up of Daniel Bryan to WrestleMania, the Legends House just started, and they had a special this week, tribute to the Ultimate Warrior. All legends and people coming to talk about their experiences with the Warrior to honor him this week, because he passed away.
A lot of people on Jericho was on there. Haven't seen him in a while. Sting, obviously, a lot, all kinds of people. Shawn Michaels had things to say.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really good.
But I have not seen any of it because I came back from my house hunting trip in Seattle and there really was no time. I've been watching. My DVR was full. I had to watch all the shit on my DVR. And actually, I watched not Lego Hobbit. I watched Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug this week to prepare for Lego Hobbit today. So I've been so backed up with other shit. But I will try in the next couple of weeks to watch some of that so I could talk about it on Smart Guys here and let everyone know what I think about all that content. And that's going to wrap it up for this week. I know it was an extra long show, so I thank you for being patient. Next week we'll have all the stuff going on with WWE, TNA. Maybe I'll have some WWE Network stuff for you guys. And this is now the build up to see what's going to happen now that Bryan's back. How are they going to build up to
what's his match going to be? What'll be his match?
Yeah, I don't know, because there's really no one in the number one contender spot right now at all. And we already know Evolution is out of the picture. So who will be?
And that's the thing, because it's great. Bryan is the belt. It's real exciting, but there's not a lot for him to work with right now.
Right.
As on the heel side, so that they need to start developing some guys and bring some guys up. I think they are kind of doing that with a few Wyatts and Cesaro and whatever. So it's great that he's a champion, but you got to give him cool people to be in there with and do stuff with. That's not Triple H, Orton, and Batista again.
Right.
Because I don't want to see that again.
Okay, everyone. Well, like I said, this is the countdown to the final in-person shows. And what I want to leave you guys with is to answer the burning question that everyone's been asking is, will the Smart Guys continue after I move to Seattle in the month of June this year?
No.
And the answer is
What is it?
The answer is yes.
It is yes.
How dare you?
Oh, I thought it was no.
The answer is yes. We will be doing it basically via podcast style where we do it over Skype. We actually did the test run of this several months ago when there was a week when we weren't able to be in person. And it actually went swimmingly, if I remember. There were no problems at all. It just boom, boom, boom.
It actually sounds better than this does.
I think so.
Just directly going in.
The direct mics,
Yep.
And I don't know what it'll look like. I mean, at that point, I'll be set up in my office, so I have no idea what the location will be.
I'll be out in the woods,
anymore.
like Willow.
What the?
All my Willow.
We're like, John, what'd you think about yesterday's match? So spinning the umbrella.
They're selling that umbrella, by the way.
Yeah, they're selling the umbrella.
Right now the shop's on. You can buy it. I was like, what?
I wish I could get the umbrella.
You can? What the fuck?
Oh my god. All right, so anyway, Smart Guys will continue. It will live on. It's actually our longest running regular series that we've done.
It's 2010?
Since 2010, I believe we started it.
2010.
So 4 years we've been doing it, and there's no stopping the Smart Guys, god damn it. So, all right, that's it for this week's episode. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. And by the way, Co-op today, for anyone who's interested, right here on Twitch TV, and also it'll be on DSP Gaming, Lego Hobbit, if anyone wants to check that out. Very good. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later.